Good evening, everybody. I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the Monee Village Board of Trustees, July 23rd, 2025. It is 6:34. If I can please invite Pastor Randy Roberts up from Living Creek Church for our invocation.
Please join me in prayer. We pause at the beginning of this meeting, Lord, just to thank you. Thank you for your protection, your provision, your direction over this village and its people. Thank you that you hear us, not because of who we are, but because of the confidence we have through the blood of Jesus Christ that allows us to enter not just this boardroom, but the most holy place in all the universe. Thank you for the gift of grace. We're grateful for those who serve this community, those in administrative roles, on teams across various departments, especially for our first responders and emergency services. Bless them, Lord, for their vigilance. We also give thanks for those who faithfully steward the resources entrusted to the village, and may their work always reflect a genuine desire to serve the residents for their good with wisdom and integrity. Thank you for their faithfulness. We ask now, Lord, for guidance on all that takes place in this meeting. May every presentation made tonight be clear, fruitful, productive. We ask your blessing on every partnership with businesses, contractors, and vendors, that they would be marked by fairness, mutual respect, and success. And let your peace rest on this place, on every heart and every decision made. And once again, we come to you in the name, the only name given among men by which we must be saved, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Present.
Trustee Henson.
Present.
Trustee Horn.
Here.
Trustee Rakes.
Present.
Trustee Wilson.
Present.
Trustee Udras.
Present.
Open to the public, agenda items only. All right. May I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udras.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes. Thank you. I do not have a report tonight, so we will move on to the clerk's report.
I do have a report. I have a letter from the Will County Clerk that I would like to share. As the county's election authority, it is a standard duty of mine to ensure that voters in Will County have access to the polls. Importantly, a particular pursuit of our team is to work diligently to build rapport with local officials to ensure that we continue to be successful while providing voter confidence in elections. As you know, the 2026 midterm primary election cycle is approaching. As we prepare for this important election, we would like to inquire whether your team would be interested in partnering with the Will County Clerk's Office to provide constituents in Monee with the opportunity to cast a ballot in person during the early voting period. Early voting was a collaborative effort between our office and local election officials in Monee that many voters in your area proudly enjoyed in the past, and it will be a pleasure to discuss with you our desire to return this service starting the next election cycle. Thanks for your consideration, and please let us know your thoughts. I did respond saying we absolutely will do early voting again.
Thank you.
So anyone who wants to help volunteer, just let me know. Okay. End of report.
Thank you very much. Exciting stuff. Okay, moving on to the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. First under my report is Mr. Sanchez and Lizzie Sanchez and former Mayor Jay Farquhar. As the board is aware, over the past year, we have been in many discussions with the Sanchez team to discuss properties located on Monee Manhattan Road and also Lamel's Plaza. And the newest venture is a proposed property purchase in the industrial complex. It's very exciting to hear this, the plans that he has, that he'd like to bring forth and wants to present tonight. So without further ado, Sanchez team, it's all yours. Take it away. I'm sorry, one interruption. We do have a typo on the agenda, so this is a presentation, not a board action. Typically, our internal policy has always been the following meeting, but it is on the agenda as a typo, so I just want to make that clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, board, and staff, thank you for allowing us to share with you another great opportunity. First, I want to mention to the mayor that it has been great to see the video highlights that you and the board sanctioned Bill to do. I believe that helps the public connect with not just the business they see, but the people that are working tirelessly to add their individual charm and style in providing products and services that make living and working in Monee more interesting and uniquely enjoyable. So thank you for that. Hold on just a second here. JJ? Oh, there we go. Perfect. I think. Perfect. All right. That said, before we present the next project for your consideration, I'd like to introduce you to the man that I've grown to really admire. Some of you may have heard his name, but never really gotten to know him. Luis Sanchez, or as I enjoy calling him, Louis, is a proud man of direct Mexican heritage that finds great satisfaction in working hard to bring honor to God and family. It has been inspiring to see how in building a legacy of work that now his daughter Lizzie is a significant part of the business operations. Monee has a long history of numerous cultural influences that have shaped who we as a community continue to become. Interestingly enough, those cultural nuances can sometimes lead to misunderstandings, even on something as simple as their names. For instance, this is Billy and others that are here, even our town, Monee, as we know, is based on a mispronunciation of somebody named Marie. But as I recall, her mother's Ottawa tribe couldn't pronounce the R's. So that's how we have Monee as we call it now. And I'll circle back to that in a moment. Let me go on about Louis. He came to America in 1977 when he was 13. He worked as a dishwasher, busboy, and a cook. Louis became an American citizen in 1983. In 1986, Louis was a laborer in paving and seal coating industry, and in 1989 started his first business doing snow plowing. In 1993, his employer in the paving industry was retiring, and based on Louis' proven work ethic, the retiring business owner encouraged him to start his own business. He joined the local 150 operating engineers as an owner-operator in 2000, and when he also built his first multi-tenant commercial building in South Holland. He followed that with another bigger building in South Holland, which came with much celebration from the village, and you'll see in your packets there's a letter from the mayor of South Holland. But this is what's fun. He stumbled across Monee on his way to Farm and Fleet in Bradley when an accident on the interstate detoured him through our little town. What year was that, Louis? 2003?
Approximately, yes.
Okay. He became preoccupied with a sign Jerry Cluck had posted along Monee Manhattan Road, and on his way back north, he went back to the sign to get the number, but to his and our good fortune, he found a $5 bill, almost as a sign in itself, sitting next to the sign. And that was a sign for him to invest in Monee. So, but being Mexican had its challenges. And at that time, there were those in Monee, that were upset that Cluck sold the property to him, that it would ruin our community. Others also got in his face to tell him that they didn't want Monee to grow. Nonetheless, next one. Here. Nonetheless, Louis kept his faith, and in 2005 became the pioneer of what we now enjoy as retail growth. Monee is named, be it mispronounced, after Joseph Bailey's wife Marie. Similarly, though, Louis named the retail plaza Lamel's, representing the initials of each of his family members. Prayerfully, he blessed the land with holy water, placing it in God's hands so others could be blessed with a home for their businesses. It is men like Louis that make Monee great, by the sweat of their brow, working hard to contribute and leave a lasting legacy. His calloused hands and soft heart are something we can all appreciate. It was an investment that spawned a new perspective towards us to be more than just a heads and beds community. We need to find more legacy builders like Louis Sanchez and now his daughter Lizzie that partner with us toward a better future together. Lizzie here beside me also learned how to work hard as she was mentored by her dad, which I understand it wasn't anything easy.
No, I got yelled at a lot.
She set off to college and obtained a bachelor's degree in finance as well as business management. Pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, double major.
But even being home for holiday break didn't keep her from getting up at 3 a.m. to shovel sidewalks while her dad was plowing the parking lots. Why was it you didn't get to plow and he had to shovel?
Well, he didn't let me drive the truck,
Okay.
so I got stuck with the shovel.
Lizzie has taken what she learned from her dad and college education to play a significant role now in running the family business. She wears a lot of hats quite well and has also started her own realty business besides that. I just want to give a little bit of background. I think it's important to know the people. That brings us to today. The village had expressed interest in buying 2 properties owned by Louis, and he has agreed to a more than reasonable price to sell. But as some of you may know, and his accountant reminded him, it isn't always that simple. In order to avoid any possible capital gains taxes, he had to identify an alternate property to reinvest in. So that was part of it was just a hesitation only because he had to find a place to redevelop. That is what has taken a while. He really likes the results he has seen in Monee and finally found a property that he could turn around, but is in need of a fair amount of work to bring it not only up to the village's standards, but his own standards as well. If you will, let's briefly review the progression of excellence that Louis brings to the table. So, Lizzie, what is this?
So this is the building in South Holland. My dad built it in the 2000s. So this is one of the very first buildings he built.
Okay.
As you see in the packet, the letter from the mayor of South Holland. He's been the mayor of South Holland for many, many years. And this is also the inside of the unit. So you see there's a front office and the rest is warehouse space.
It's the cleanest inside of an office industrial building I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
And is that the letter you were talking about?
Yeah, that's a letter from the mayor. He's been mayor of South Holland for many, many years. Just a summary of the letter just says that, his appreciation on, adding to the community and also how it led to our family, developing and helping us grow as well. And then also his dedication to the village and adding to it to enhance it.
Good, thank you. And let's see if I can do this. So what do we see here?
So here you see the plaza. I'm sure everybody's, knows Lamel's Plaza. So here, thank you.
Here, you can move down here if that helps.
Yeah, I'm a little short.
Is that better?
Yeah. So my dad built the plaza in 2005. As you see, we have a lot of local businesses, Shoop's, from who, we all know and love. Also along with the nail salon, Quizno, State Farm, which now we have Subway.
Hold on a second. Just trivial detour. I want to take you back to...
Yeah.
Who is that?
So that's me and my sister.
Where's that at?
That is where the plaza is. Mm-hmm. And there you see a sign, retail stores coming soon.
So. Okay, so go ahead.
So my dad saw a lot of potential in Monee, so that's when he decided to build another building in 2008. At that time, he had a lot of tenants lined up, ready to lease the space, such as U.S. Cellular and other retail stores. But as you know, in 2008, the recession came, and a lot of people, backed out of the letter. And at that time, the building was empty for 7 years, so it took a long time to, find somebody that would take the space. And I want to say in 2015 is when Advance Auto Parts came, and the mayor and the clerk at the time went to Nevada with my dad to help, get Advance Auto Parts to come to Monee and also to show their support.
And what do we
And
see
then
here?
here is another building in Frankfurt, right on Laraway Road. My dad built this in 2018. As you can see, it's very detailed, brick, the colors. My dad went very detailed on this since it's on Laraway Road. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Laraway Road, but that road is very busy. So he wanted to set a high standard for not only Frankfurt, but also to himself to show his craftsmanship and dedication to his work.
So, trivial piece here, the next slide here.
So those are the garbage corrals.
So hold on a second. So Louis asked me, hey, did you see my garbage corrals? And I go, no, I didn't see them. And I had to stop specifically, and I had like, oh, that's what that is. Those things are built better than some houses. And it was like, I was very impressed. I was like, there ain't anything flying around loose out of that. Go ahead.
But as you can see, it matches the building. It's very detailed. My dad went this detail to really enhance the building and to make it look nice. And not only that, but he wanted to keep all the garbage in one spot so it's not messy in the parking lot, and it has a nice look on Laraway Road. And then this is a current project we're working on in Frankfurt. It's right behind our building in Frankfurt. As you can see, there's trucks, sewer. We're looking to double the size.
So how big is your current building in Frankfurt?
The current building is about 15,000 square feet, and this new building will be about 30,000 square feet.
And that's on what, 5 acres roughly?
Yeah, it's on 5 acres.
Okay.
Mhm.
And not to be surprised. what
And
we have
then this is a letter from the mayor of Frankfurt. This is him saying that that he was so impressed with the Laraway building that it really set the standard for other developers that come in to the town, and to do it at that standard and more.
Good. And so this brings you down, just to give you a top-down perspective of what we're looking at here. So if you look up there, the blue line is actually the new FAU route that's being finished in the next couple weeks, I guess. And that purple arrow is the property that you're looking at. Some of you may know it as Graylar. It is the property. It was Larson is actually the one that developed it way back when. So it's on the far west end of Industrial Drive at Cleveland. With the villages designating Cleveland Industrial as an FAU truck route, it is very important to raise the bar on how we look in this area that has previously been marginally maintained. I guess that's a nice way to say it. While it's an industrial area, Louis believes he can apply his expertise to add the charm and curb appeal the village desires. Excellent. In reviewing the site, there are a number of things that he would like to do. Some of those existing building updates he intends to get started on right away, but the big picture is to prepare the site for the potential of yet another additional similar building to provide a home for possibly 8 more businesses to be established here in Monee. The timing on that, of course, is going to be contingent on the demand and whatever kind of things like that. He doesn't want to sit on a building for 7 years again if he doesn't have to. We know the village isn't always fond of speculative buildings, so that's part of the reason why he'll hold off on that part of it, but the groundwork and the engineering and all that stuff will have to be done to anticipate that. Meanwhile, thinking toward that potential, he will need to have the engineering done, second building before, to anticipate the second building before any excavating, to set the grade, and before he taps into city water and sewer. Once the engineering and excavating have cleared the way, he will tend to proper landscaping, fencing, etc. What do we got here? We got the next 3D. So just to show you here, this is a 2-dimensional overlay. The bottom, I'm pointing out here, you can't see what I'm pointing at. The smaller lower building is the current building structure. And the upper portion of that is a proposed location for a second building. We have identified a list of TIF eligible expenses. Let me go ahead and flip to the third. That gives you a 3D rendering. For phase 1 of this project that would go from cleanup through clearing the land before phase 2. We only mentioned phase 2, again, just to put in a big picture so you understand. All this has to be done so it will be ready for that. The current building is what, 10,600 feet?
Yeah.
Okay, and the possible phase 2 building would be 15 to 20,000 square feet, somewhere in that realm. And a lot of that is also dependent on what the engineers, all depends on what the engineers say we have to do for water retention and such on the property to adjust for all that. So that'll all have to be dealt with, obviously, in anticipation for that before excavating of any kind takes place.
Yeah, so the current building has 6 units, and the possible second building would have 8 units.
So, questions? Encouragement?
Well, the one thing that I can say, and because I had the opportunity to go tour some of your facilities and then also look at this proposed facility, and the one thing that struck me was the backside of that building on Laraway is nicer than this existing building is now. I mean, the attention to detail that he has, Mike saw too, is impeccable. And
Well, it brings up something I didn't realize. That I was talking to Louis about something else on the Lamel Plaza, and he was so particular. I don't know if he obsesses a little bit about details, but maybe a little bit. I'm sorry. So he's so particular about making things a place for everything in its place to make sure it's all as nice as possible. He wanted to make sure that there was conduit going from the mechanical room at Lamel Plaza all the way through to each of the suites, so they didn't have to run string wires on the backside of the building like some places do or whatever else. So all that was built in. That's the kind of detail that he presented on that. And to me, being in the tech industry a little bit, I see that as like, man, that would sure have been nice for a lot of things, But you're right. Anybody else?
Can you go back to the picture of Lamel's Plaza before it was Lamel's Plaza?
Oh, with the girls?
Oh,
Yeah.
me and my sister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2004, I can only imagine it. The vision back then for this, and you probably were the only one, Mr. Sanchez.
Pioneer for sure.
But to see it now, and Lamel's Plaza, the building there currently is still very relevant, and it's stout, and it's withstood, yes,
Yeah, it
withstood
is.
time. So what kind of pushback did you get, besides what you already mentioned, but like, what kind of pushback when you said, I want to build a plaza here, and you went for financing, and you were talking with,
Look, come on, please.
Well,
Stay a little bit.
Here, dude.
I have a lot of comments. I get a lot of comments that someone they said that the business is too small and was too much of a building at one time. And I had all kinds of comments, but I strongly believe it was a good location. It's a nice town. It didn't have too much going on in the town. It was need for a lot more retail. And thank God, there was some people made a comment in town says, they asked me, what are you going to have here? Do you have somebody that's lined up, signed up? And I said, somebody will come. I said, you don't have nothing here. And they said, well, that's how we like it here. I'm like, oh my God. So, but I kept my faith, and I did it. And I break ground. I started building the walls, and I went to the bank. I said, I need to borrow some money. And that time, I was very busy doing blacktop paving, and I have very good relationship with my bank. And they look at me and says, now you coming for a loan? And so then they said, well, I believe at that time one of the owners of Milligan was the bar
Oh, Mulligan? Well,
building, yes. He was part owner. He was a partner of the, what was the owner's name? I can't remember his name. He was a partner. So he knew a little bit about the village, and he didn't agree too much with the construction. He says, it's too much of a builder for Monee. And I said, well, it's too late now because I'm about to roof the roof. So thank God, everything went okay. And God, I was blessed. I feel like I was very blessed because the building got rented right away. Right away. And I had 120 car spaces, and the whole building was rented, and half the parking lot was empty. And more people calling for space. I'm like, why not do another building? So I went through the process and got approved, and I started doing the second building where that's our parties now. Then 2008 came. I had a letter of intent from U.S. Cellular, letter of intent from, it was all, have all everybody back up. So the building said empty. But other than that, I think I was very blessed.
Yes.
And I always have a lot of faith. And I bought a couple houses across the street. And now there's a different use for that. And I got, that's great. It's a good growth for the town. I'm sure it will look nice after everything is all done. But as I told who was telling, I said, this is my income. If I sell the property, I'm not going to have the income, and I got to pay taxes. That doesn't sound too fair to me. I said, so why, if I can reinvest in town someplace else, then everybody is a win-win situation for everybody. The Larson, he wants to retire. He goes to Florida. The town gets the houses. They can build, do whatever they want, and I still have my income. So that's what was my first reaction. And that's where we're at. We're trying to get it. I still have a lot of faith in Monee.
It's obvious, and thank you for your perseverance because there was a lot against you, but you kept pressing on.
I have very good feeling. I have very good feelings, and thank God I was able to do it.
Yes.
2009 and 2010, I turned gray because that's another story. So thank you very much.
Thank you. While you're up here, do you, Mr. Sanchez, do you have any additional concerns about the redevelopment or for the second building that you foresee that may be a stumbling block or a hindrance or?
So, thanks to the village, where's that, back there, they were insightful enough to put the sewer line across so it'll be ready for, because they're not city water and sewer yet.
Right.
One of the caveats is, and Ed, I think you're going to confirm with Jeff, but there's only one usable sewer connection on that side for both buildings.
Okay.
So we're simply asking the board with the design of the engineer or whatever acceptable to allow them to use a single sewer connection for both buildings. It's not going to be high water use anyhow.
Right.
And it'd just be 1 meter for each building, but the sewer would be a single connection all the way out because it's already there for that. So that's all we're asking, that they be put in some form of the development agreement or something in writing so that at least they have that.
And our course has got to go through the civil engineering for approval. And I guess they have the final say-so plus. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
Okay.
You know?
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez.
Anybody else? Staff? They keep asking you the questions.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Okay, I think we're good.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Just-
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and just, your story is fascinating, and you're about the 5th person that I've heard that they believe it was a divine appointment to be in Monee, that they came across not knowing. So your story resonates with here in this town. There's something about this town that brings people here, and I believe something great is just around the corner. And I appreciate your story. Thank you. So what we'll do is we'll talk over the next few weeks, and we'll bring a proposal to the board and ask for board direction, and we'll go from there. But thank you very much. The next item under my report is for the new Public Works building. This is payout request number 13. The village has received pay request 13 from PBS for Public Works new construction project for the pay period ending on July 10th, 2025, in the amount of $566,134.16. And the invoice is attached. All the invoices and supporting documentation for payment have been reviewed and certified by the Farnsworth Group and village staff and meet the plans and specifications according to the contract. For tonight, a board action request is a motion to approve pay request number 13 to PBS for the pay period ending on July 10th, 2025, in the amount of $566,134.16.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udras.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Thank you, board. End of my report.
Thank you. And moving on to the officials' reports. Public Works, Trustee Horn.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening to everyone. And speaking of that DPW facility that is nearing completion as we speak, if you recall, last time we met here, there was discussion of a delayed electrical panel, and it was on back order. Well, I'm happy to report that that is being installed this week. I was up there, I guess it was yesterday, and they were swarming around that, working on that and fitting it up. So they'll have factory startup of essential systems is scheduled for the week of July 28th. And then a preliminary walkthrough for the building staff is scheduled for the week of August 4, and we're hopeful to have occupancy of the building by mid-August, and the grand opening is yet to be scheduled. We'll worry about that once it's online. And then also Pavlov Media has been in town, and they are doing their village-wide fiber optic network, and there's very little negative impact. In fact, I saw the care they are taking to mitigate impact, and they're working from west to east, installing conduit for fiber optic cable. And the date, right now they've installed about 25,000 feet of conduit. And then our next scheduled branch pickup is scheduled for Monday, August 4. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Moving on to Parks and Recreation, Trustee Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. And I don't know if you all noticed that tonight is our next music in the parks from 6:30 to 8. They were just getting started as I was walking up, so another nice little thing, and I saw the crowd out there, which is also awesome. And this Saturday, the Crosstown Classic between the Cubs and the Sox. I know we offered those tickets a couple months ago. There are a few tickets left, and to please call the parks for more information if you want tickets yet. Next Tuesday, July 29, is our Party in the Parks at Friendship Park in Country Meadows from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. There's going to be a jump house and free hot dogs, chips, and water while supplies last. There will be games and even more. And then next Wednesday, July 30th, is Movies in the Park featuring Elf for Christmas in July under the pavilion at dusk. And thank you to Animal Wellness for sponsoring all the movies this summer, and to Gina's Motorsports for sponsoring the popcorn. And our last Party in the Park is on August 5th at Fireman's Park from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. featuring Monee's Finest, who will be serving free ice cream under the pavilion and free hot dogs, water, and chips while supplies last. So don't miss that one. And Fall Fest, again, how many days away? 46? 46 days away, September 5th through 7th. There's going to be music, of course, car show, fireworks, and our vendor show, food, carnival, don't forget the beer garden and garage sales that weekend, and a stingray encounter is going to be those are our featured guests for the weekend. And thank you for our very own sponsor, to Iroquois Paving, to making it happen for our stingray encounter. And keep an eye on our social media pages and the website for more details as they're released, as we get even closer. And as an aside, and I talked a little bit about the parade and the vendors and things. So if you have a business, if you have a side gig, if you have a group or a charity group that would like to be part of the parade, we would love to have you. If there's a dog rescue, if there is real estate guys and gals who would want to be a part of that, we would love to have you be a part of the parade. We want to build it up to days gone by. So please call the Parks and Recreation Department at 708-534-8301 to be a part of that as well. And the Monee Chamber of Commerce also has limited tickets available for the Joliet Slammers game, the Monee game, on Saturday, August 2 at the first pitch is at 5:05 p.m. Tickets are only $12, and 2 years old and under are free, and it's also free parking. So again, call the Parks Department if you'd like tickets for that always fun game as well. And for my own part, I would like to remind everybody through July 24th, we have 2 days for the electronic petition and also the survey for us to have our voices heard for this, the freight mobility study. We need to let folks know in Will County that there has to be another way than to come through Monee. So please check out the village website, and also I saw it on the socials page as well today. Please fill that out. Take the time and do it. Let them know. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on to Finance, Trustee Rakis.
Thank you, Mayor. For my report, the village is pleased to announce that it will continue the property tax rebate program this year. Information regarding the property tax rebate program will be posted on the village's website soon. Applications for the property tax rebate program will be available August 14th. End of my report.
Great, thank you. Moving on to Economic Development, Trustee Wilson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Economic Development Director Bill Barnes has been working on a few different redevelopment projects, one of them working with the Sanchez family and the properties and trying to get them over at Industrial Drive. I know he's happy to see that start to come to fruition, but there's a lot of behind the scenes on that to make it happen, so it just doesn't happen overnight. With that, I would like to call up Economic Development Director Bill Barnes to kind of give us an update of what's been going on.
Thank you. And first of all, I've had several meetings with Mr. Sanchez and Lizzie, and and when I went into their office in Frankfurt, it's like, wow, is there space for me? Because it's gorgeous. I mean, so hats off to him. But it's been a pleasure, and to his point, I mean, and Trustee Wilson's, nothing happens overnight. We've met several times, and I have to say he's one of the toughest negotiators I've ever met in my life. But I admire his work ethic, and he's also taught me things about being kind of a tougher negotiator, so I appreciate that. And I think it's great also that he's willing to stay in Monee. He's working on his nice, beautiful house in Mexico. I haven't been yet. Anyway, but he's got his hands full, and he could retire, but he wants to stay here. So I think that's a testament to his commitment here and what we've got going on. And a lot of what I do, although not to this scale, but maybe it's with not my money, used your money, but it's about having vision. So seeing things like Lamel's Plaza, when it was just an open field, a lot similar to what I do and what you entrust in me to do, which is seeing things that could be and having the vision, and then of course you supporting what I see, and so I appreciate that. So one of those is Tractor Supply, which, there are people always commenting. There's naysayers, and there's people that say, yes, great, we're excited that it's coming here. Yet today, this morning, I go once a month to a Chicago Southland event or networking event. Reggie Greenwood, who's with Governor State and was also very involved. He went around the room, people introduced themselves, and he goes, "Oh, we have Monee here." He said, "Monee, that's the hot spot in this area." He said, "What have you got going on?" And I said, "Well, we've got this and, a few other things that I can't talk about, but there's more to come." So, I mean, think about that. From what Mr. Sanchez started in an empty field to now people are coming saying, "We want to be in Monee." These are national, these are franchises that are spending. Tractor Supply is an $8 million development. Dollar Tree, Starbucks, and that represents jobs. It represents tax revenue. Vortman Steel across the way. There are other things that I share with the mayor and Ruben and Larry, as far as things that I can't talk about here because there's NDAs and what have you, and I don't want to obviously talk about things and say, "Oh, what happened to this? What happened to that?" But a lot of my job is kind of bird dogging and having several meetings behind the scenes with politicians, with government officials, that type of thing. So, so it doesn't happen overnight. We can't just wave a wand. It takes persistence. As an example, Starbucks, 3 years ago, the first time I went to the ICSC in Las Vegas, I talked with the Dollar Tree real estate representative, gave him my card, gave him a packet. 3 years later, Dollar Tree is here, Starbucks is here with the same developer, but nonetheless, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. And I know you all know that because, and the same with the properties that we've been buying across the way. It's going to be a complement to Mr. Sanchez's, to Lamel's Plaza, and everything else coming in. So, it doesn't happen overnight. And again, I know there's people that don't like change. It is interesting because I'll just have this little side story. I was in Starbucks a few weeks ago, and there's a gentleman in there and talking about he was enjoying his coffee, drink, or what have you, and he said, "I don't like the changes going on in here. I like it when it used to be this." And I said, "Well, if we didn't have change, you wouldn't be sitting here having your coffee." And he said, well, but I'd have it somewhere else. And nonetheless, I just thought it was kind of funny. But again, it takes persistence, and I know you all know that, but and just stick with us because even more great things are happening in Monee, more to come that I can't talk about yet.
And I could just attest to the hard work that Bill's been doing behind the scenes. So I appreciate you, Bill. I know for everyone that comes to fruition, there's 10 or a dozen that don't. So keep up the good work. Appreciate it. And end of report, Mayor. And as always, shop Monee when available.
Thank you.
Yes.
Building Services, Trustee Henson.
Thank you, Mayor. Building Services has a community alert for everyone. It's come to the attention of the Monee Building Services that there are numerous pools being added to properties in the village. To install a pool, there is a permit required for all pools. This is for many reasons, but the main one is life safety of the homeowner and the surrounding community residents. During periods of high heat and humidity, it's very refreshing to jump into a pool, especially if the pool or property is unattended to. If there is a pool that is not behind a fence or that all reasonable precautions have been taken to secure a pool when they are not in use, they can be very deadly for everyone, especially children. And I'll pause right there for a second. There's 5 million pools across the U.S. that are being recalled because of at least nine deaths because of these pools. There's Best Way Intex, Poly Group recalls the above ground 48-inch pools and taller due to drowning hazards. So here in Monee with the building services, the Village of Monee has, has adopted codes that are in place to make those swimming pools as safe as possible, which are safety barriers required either around the yard or around the top of the pool, ladders that are manufactured that you can secure them or that for use, or you can remove from the pool entirely. Electrical supplies need to be properly bonded for the pool system, with a number of requirements to turn off electricity for safety and first responder safety. But sometimes everybody says, oh, you know, the building services, they just want, don't want anybody to have a good time or have something nice. This is a safety issue. I couldn't even imagine having a pool and having something like this happen. So if you do want to put a pool in, or if you do have a pool that you just recently put in, please contact the building services, find out what the ordinances are, and find out, you know, permits and such, and have a great summer. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on to public safety, Trustee Udris.
Thank you, Mayor. You guys probably noticed it's a little warm today, isn't it? It's going to be even warmer tomorrow, and so I wanted to make sure everybody knew this building would be open tomorrow from 8 to 4 as a cooling center for anybody who needs to escape the heat, get a little bit of a break. Also, if anybody, especially our seniors, but anybody that's in need of any kind of assistance for any kind of heat-related issues, I have a phone number that you can call, and we will get you some help. And that number is 779-243-9659. So one more time, 779-243-5659. So if, you know, we want everybody to be safe. We don't want anybody to be, you know, trapped or stuck because you don't have any AC or anything. So if you need any kind of assistance, please let us know. And just to help you get a little bit of a cooler thought with that, just remember it's only 155 days till Christmas. So, moving on to our police department, this past Saturday morning, one of our officers was flagged down by a Gulf Vista resident who was concerned that her husband had wandered off and was lost. Monee PD activated EMA, and a short time later, the elderly resident was found walking only a few blocks from his home. He was disoriented and had lost his way. EMA had located the subject, and he was returned safely to his family. This is a happy conclusion. These incidents, unfortunately, don't always end well, and this is why our police department recommends Angel Sense. The location devices for those that are suffering from Alzheimer's, dementia, autism, and other mental health-related illnesses and issues. So if you need assistance with a family member, we're here to help you. Check out the Angel Sense website. It's at angelsense.com. If you're not sure, you can contact our police department, and we'll be glad to set you up with it. Monee is proud to partner with Angel Sense and can assist with the financial aid to obtain this tracking device if necessary. So again, if you have a relative that you know has some issues, again, we're here to help you, and just reach out. We would love to partner with you and get it done. And that's in memory of our trustee Liz, who helped get that started for our police department, and I always like to mention that. From our emergency management agency, on July 12th, they assisted Will County Forest Preserve Police with Will County Emergency Management for their annual Surf and Turf concert event. EMA provided 5 vehicles and 6 personnel for 5.5 hours. Also on July 12th, they assisted the Kids Day EMA with 5 vehicles and 6 personnel for about 5 hours and had a great time with everybody that came out. On July 17th, they were called to Will Center Road, south of Court Street, for a smoking ComEd pole. EMA provided 1 traffic unit and was quickly released. And again, for the 17th, they were called out to Shoal Creek Drive for a missing person. The officer in charge, Tracy Henson, was sent to meet with our police OIC, quickly sent out a picture of the missing person and related information to the responding EMA responders. Rapid coordinated search of the area was performed by EMA and the police, and OIC Henson was able to locate the subject in Country Meadows next to a house that was seeking shelter from the rain. Monee Fire was called to the scene to check the subject. The subject was then released back to his family. EMA provided 5 vehicles and 7 personnel for that. A huge thank you to OIC Henson for her leadership and coordination, and to all the responding police officers and EMA responders that gave a happy ending to this incident. So thank you very much. Thank you. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tracy. Moving on to the attorney's report, Larry.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 4 items for the board's consideration. The first item is a special use permit ordinance with respect to sheepdog firearms. A public hearing was held before the zoning board of appeals, I believe last week. They gave a favorable recommendation to issue the special use permit on behalf of sheepdog firearms. So it's up for the board's review and consideration.
So
I will
moved.
make that motion.
Discussion, anyone?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Udris,
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Henson,
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2091.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item is authorization for the mayor to execute a community service agreement with Turning Point. I believe I distributed this agreement a couple times. We had further conversations today. The company will pay the village the $250,000 when construction starts. They will also agree to the site plan as we requested, and they've been very cooperative. So it's up for the board's review and consideration.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Trustee Udris,
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
Trustee Henson,
Abstain.
Trustee Horn,
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item is pursuant to the board's direction. I drafted a redevelopment agreement with respect to Mrs. Patel, who came before the board asking for some redevelopment TIF cost. If the board recalls, her costs were well over, I think, $6 million. I did draft a redevelopment agreement indicating the board would be willing to reimburse her $700,000. And that would be used for the parking lot, for signs, for windows, and some outside landscaping. None of these costs are for the interior, but it's roughly a little less than 10%. So with the board's permission, I will distribute this to Mrs. Patel, get her response, and advise the board accordingly.
Make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Udris,
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
Trustee Henson,
Yes.
Trustee Horn,
Yes.
Trustee Rakes,
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. And the last item I have is, we've had several meetings with respect to the appropriation ordinance. We do need to have a public hearing, but we do have an ordinance for the boards, for a consensus tonight, with some minor changes upon further review by Administrator Batista and Daryl. But it will be, the public hearing will take place, I believe, at the next board meeting in August. We do have to have it published. But with the board, if we can have a motion at least to approve the appropriation ordinance as presented, subject to further change at the first meeting in August.
Consensus?
Yes. Okay,
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, 6 yes. Okay, beautiful.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Any unfinished business, anyone? Or new business? All right, moving on to open to the public, non-agenda items.
Couple of my questions, Linda Marshall, a couple of my questions were already answered about the tax rebate and the cooling center. I thank you. I would like to commend Michelle. She's apparently been doing her job without a deputy since the election. And from what I can tell, everything's been going smoothly. So if we don't have a deputy clerk, and Michelle's doing the clerk job and the office manager job, she's doing an outstanding job. I don't always come here with just negative stuff. Usually, but not always. Thank you.
Speech, Michelle.
Are you ready for me? Okay.
I'm not sure.
Well, there wasn't like a, gavel or anything. My name is Billy Morgan with the Historical Society. I wanted to give just a brief update on kind of what we've been up to, what's been going on. As Trustee Gonzalez mentioned, the Monee Chamber of Commerce is doing their Joliet Slammers fundraiser, and I'm going to be throwing out the first pitch. So another reason that you might want to go is to potentially see me fall flat on my face. You never know what might happen. But we're continuing with our American History Book Club. The next book club meeting is August 7th at 7 p.m. We're learning about how Illinois became a state. It's something that I don't know a whole lot about. Avenues of Transformation by James A. Edstrom. On August 9th at 3 o'clock, we're having our art auction wine and cheese reception. We had that last year kind of out on the patio, out front. It's an opportunity to raise a little bit of money and also to bring artisans from Monee into the building and kind of sell and get exposure for their work. So we're trying to gather as much artistic value as we can. That's, again, August 9th at 3 p.m., and I will pass out the little description to everybody. August 14th at 6 p.m., we're having a presentation on Burnham, Chicago. That's in collaboration with Peatone Public Library. They've been very great partners in providing some historical programming. There is limited seating in the building, so we're just asking that people go to peatonelibrary.org to sign up so that we know we have enough space and that people can get in there. But as you know, Daniel Burnham had his master plan for the city of Chicago, which was architecturally of great significance, not just for Chicago, but architecturally around the world. As a historical society, we've kind of reshuffled our governance structure a little bit, so each of the board members now have a specific section that they're kind of taking the lead on to make sure that we're doing a lot of things at once. We need to be able to multitask in this world, and so we're trying to do that as much as we can. One of the exciting things that we're doing is we're spearheading, actually, when I say we, Betsy is spearheading a docent program to make sure that more people can be engaged in the actual history, can understand and learn the history, and then explain it to other people, and we can be open as much as we possibly can by organizing people and getting them the information they need. We're partnering with Monee Township. I know a guy over there, and every quarter, Monee Township has a newsletter that should be in everybody's mailboxes. And now we are providing a little blurb highlighting a veteran from Monee Township. In a previous job, I used to work with veterans and service members and Gold Star families. And any opportunity we have to showcase the work that they do and the sacrifices they make and their families make, I think it's really important. So keep a lookout in our Veterans Assistance Commission section. We now have Monee Historical Society Veterans Spotlight. We're also continuing our oral history program to make sure that we're collecting the memories of everybody that we can for all time. So, if we're not collecting the information, it's going to be lost forever. In service of that, we've also, you all know Christy Holston, and we're not letting her go. We're trying to take all the information she has in her head and get it written down. So her job is publications. Her job is writing a book, writing as much of the history of Monee. She already has a lot of it. Let's just get it all together and get it into people's hands. The Village of Monee has been a great partner and a great supporter of the Historical Society. And in service of that, we want to make sure that we start regularly showcasing the work that we're doing every month. So expect me or somebody else to be here to talk about some of the new things that's going on. We also have, for our regular board meetings and membership meetings, we already provide like agendas of what we're doing, bank reconciliation statements so that you know what we're spending money on. And so we're going to make sure that everybody gets a copy of all of that stuff so that you know exactly, precisely what's going on at all times. So anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. I hope that wasn't too much more than 3 minutes. Does anybody have any questions or anything?
You mentioned local artisans.
Yeah.
By a gentleman by the name of Bill Barnes hasn't submitted anything, has he?
Not that I know of.
Abstract art, I don't know.
I think we might need to, that's a good idea. I knew I came here for a good reason.
There you go.
And anybody who has any ideas about things that the Historical Society should be doing, should be showcasing, we need to have as much input and engagement as possible, so let us know. We really want to hear your ideas. All right, thank you. Yeah, we just got, well, you might know more of the history of it, but they're political cartoons.
Right. He worked, I think, on the Chicago Sun. I'm Margaret Horn. And he was a local artist that did cartoons during the 40s, so during the war. And his granddaughter, Kate, came by with probably about 15 of his artworks that she donated to our group. And they're phenomenal. I'm a little politically incorrect, but you got to remember, this is during World War II, so, you know. At the time, they were very correct.
At the time.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have them at the Historical Society if anybody's interested in seeing them. They're phenomenal. I mean, they're huge pictures, hand-drawn originals, so we've been very blessed with that.
And we're counting that as artwork too for the art auction.
Yeah,
So
they'll
not
be
all
there.
of it, but some of them will be there framed so you can take a look at their great cartoons. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm back, Linda Marshall. The only dumb question is the one you don't ask, so I've been told. Is there a deputy clerk? There is one coming in? Is there another office manager coming in? You guys are going to work the hell out of Michelle, or is it a cost saving? Is it a cost saving thing that there's not a deputy clerk and another office manager? The only dumb question is the one you don't ask, and I'm asking.
Haven't gotten around to appointing the deputy clerk yet.
Haven't gotten around to it.
Correct. And Michelle.
Everything takes time in Monee.
She seems to be handling both duties, so, she needs the help, I know she will ask and we will provide, so, what's that?
Definitely. The only dumb question is the one you don't ask.
True, very true.
I'm done.
Good evening, my name is Terrence, and Madam Mayor, congratulations on your re-election. My wife and I, we've been living in Monee for about 5 years. We are very excited about everything that is going on with development. Very excited about Starbucks and Tractor Supply, and also we really appreciate the tax rebate program. I was paying a blue bill for water, sewer, and I've noticed that garbage went up by about 20%. And I was wondering if that's something that is expected.
So we entered into a 10-year agreement with the new contract, that was last year. And what the village has done is negotiated the best price, but we didn't institute the increase. So the village ate the loss, and it was never passed on to the residents. So you got a year without the added increase of that. And so now we're back where we need to be to honor the contract. And just so you know, the village pays ahead of time. We pay for the year, and then we are able to get the best price ever. And so that's the reason why you saw a change now, and in your garbage bill, but it's a pass-along, so the village makes no profit whatsoever. It's just a pass-along bill.
And is that going to be the price for next 10 years, or is it going to increase sometime?
It increases according, I don't have the contract in front of me, but it's a minimal amount, a percentage amount. And when we were looking at different waste management companies, they all gave their proposals, and the one that won the award, which was Republic, by far outbidded the closest competitor. It's an amazing savings that the village was able to get. But it was also because of our negotiation with both companies that bidded on the project.
So according to my records, I looked at price changes, and it looks like last change was in 2022, and that was about 2 to 3%. And then there were no changes for about 2 years or so, and then this huge jump. Is that because what you explained, or is this a simple renegotiation of the 10-year agreement?
No, that's what I was explaining, but what we can do is we can meet offline if you come in, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, the contract that I could show you, so it would be best for you to come in and we could talk about this face-to-face in our office.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Can I please have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
7:40.